Hey everybody, this is Catherine Allen at Allen Realty Group here at Keller Williams Coastal Realty. Last week we brought you episode 1 of our buyer tips, where we talked about when you start your home buying search, where should you start? And step 1 is find yourself a realtor. So last week we ended on interview a couple of realtors, go on a couple coffee dates, figure out who you like, and if you like them and you can work with them, move forward with hiring them. So what's the first question that comes to mind? For me, it's what does a realtor cost? The good news to you is realtors, when you're on the buy side, typically don't cost you anything. And I say typically because there's always exceptions to that rule. But we're gonna focus on the typical situation, which is the buyer's agent is compensated on any property, typically, that's listed on the MLS. When a house gets listed for sale and they hire a realtor, that selling agent has a percentage they charge the seller. As a result, that money then gets split typically in half for the agent who brings a ready, willing, and able buyer to the table. So that compensation pays for the buyer to have fair and quality representation in this market. The reason for that is previously we used to have one agent, and that agent would represent the house, and the house is the seller, right? That agent was working in the best interest of his client, the seller. So when a buyer would come to the table and they'd say, let's write an offer, the agent who was representing the house has no duty to protect the buyer or to make the buyer aware of things he might want to know about. For example, are those water stains in the ceiling something to be concerned about? As a listing agent back in the day, you wouldn't have to disclose it because it's not your client. So nowadays we have buyer's agents. As a buyer's agent, our job is to get out there, critically review that house, look at the market, look at your funding, look at the seller situation, and go, how can we put together the best deal for my client that still gets everybody to the closing table happily? To hire an agent, you're going to sign what's called a buyer agency agreement form. And what that form basically says is, I'm hiring this company who employs this agent for this amount of time for this amount of money. And that amount of money is typically a percentage of the sale, probably between 1 and 4%. Really depends on the type of real estate you're looking at, what the transaction is, blah, blah, blah. If you haven't gathered this yet, there are a lot of variations in real estate. So having somebody who understands the contracts, how to negotiate, who knows all the ins and outs is going to be incredibly important to you, because my guess is your day job is not in real estate and this might not be your forte. You want to hire someone whose day job is real estate, someone who loves this job. Okay? You're gonna hire your realtor by entering a exclusive buyer agency agreement. It's exclusive. So what that means is once you enter into that agreement with that realtor, you're saying, hey, realtor, you and I, we're BFFs for this amount of time. I will not cheat on you with other realtors. I will not call other realtors to work on your behalf. I will not work with other realtors and not inform them that I'm in a relationship with you. And what that does is that allows us to invest our time in you. Because keep in mind, we don't get paid until the house closes. And if that house blows up at the end of 45 days that we've been under contract and we've done your negotiations, we've gone to your home inspections, we've driven an hour to the listing round trip, we've put that gas in our car and we put the mileage on our tires, that is all money we front up front. We do not get a salary. When an agent chooses to work with you, they are investing in a paycheck 2, 3, 4 months down the road, sometimes a year down the road. It can take a while for people to get to the closing table, which is why having an exclusive buyer's agency relationship is extremely important to us. We're gonna take time away from our families. We want to make sure we're working with happy, committed clients that we genuinely enjoy spending time with. You're gonna sign that buyer exclusive agency agreement. Additionally, when you're on that date with those realtors and you're talking about real estate, and the key is when you're having a substantive conversation about real estate, I hope to God they are providing you with this form. This is particularly for New Hampshire, but Maine has a version too. This is your brokerage relationship disclosure form, and this is required by the Real Estate Commission so that you, the public, are completely aware of what your rights are as a client and as a customer. We are finding a lot of people aren't getting this form, so use that as like a little test when you're interviewing realtors. See if they're following the law, see if they're presenting you with this documentation and being the professional you're hoping to hire. So that's step 1. Well, I guess that's tip 2 actually. Step 1 of this video. Step 2 of the video series. Interview a realtor, hire a realtor. And we'll continue this conversation next week. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you around.